DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.
Hello, everybody. I'm not Bolon. I'm Winston, and Bolon is he's training for the. Have you guys seen Bloodsport? There's what's the fight called in Bloodsport? The Kumite. He's training for the Kumite. He's really busy doing that. Thanks for joining us. I'm Winston. This is Hubert. We also are hoping to have Dreamer here in a minute. I think he's probably, getting a drink or something. So I'm sure he'll be here very soon. Just a quick reminder, get over and vote on both of those bouts. We've got YU against Mellow Fellow, and Kurt is going to take on San Andreas. So make sure you vote on those. You've got probably 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Look at that. Look at these tiny little amounts of it's growing though. Tiny little amounts of votes. You don't want to miss out on that. That's just free jewel to do what you want with it. So get in there and vote. Yeah, you got 2 minutes. Hubert?
I always read it as Wayo, maybe.
Wayo. I mean, it's two O's, so it'd be kind of an ooh, wouldn't it?
I guess it depends on if you're reading it like an English person or not.
Basically, if you're illiterate, then yeah, it can sound like however you want it to sound.
I meant more like Asian readings. Oh, look, I'm right. Aha.
He doesn't know how to say his own name. Don't worry about it. I know a little bit more about his name than he does. Well, Hubert, we've got 90 seconds left to vote on these. How about you tell us how you're doing? How are you living? What's your life about these days?
I'm doing pretty well. My life is about dealing with overgrown trees in my yard and new features in this game and all the in between of parenthood and all that too. So not bad. I got decent sleep again, which is odd, but it happened. I was too tired. I didn't get decent sleep at all yesterday, so that forced me to go to bed early last night, which was probably good. So how are you doing?
Your advantage. I'm good. Yeah. Do you have a story or anything for us today? Anything, like a piece of wisdom? By the way, 50 seconds left on both of these. Don't forget to vote on those. Anyways, yeah, you drop a touch of wisdom on us if you don't mind.
A touch of wisdom?
Yeah.
Way to throw that on me.
I know. I'll let you off the hook this time. I'll let you off the hook. Next week, though, we're gonna need just a little touch of wisdom. I'm good. Things are good over here. I'm going later today up to Washington to help Don Johnson unpack his storage facility. That's it. I can't even explain further than that. So that's what I'm doing. Been having a nice week. The weather here is starting to turn down a little bit. Okay, so it looks like these bouts are starting up. The weather here is kind of starting to turn down. We're starting to see leaves on the ground. It's pretty delightful. I can't complain. This is a nice time to be in Utah. So I'm not unhappy about that situation. Speaking of Bloodsport, hi Dreamer, how are you doing? We were just talking about how Bolon is preparing for the Kumite, and here you are. So we checked in with Hubert. He's good. He got some good rest. How are you doing, Dreamer? And maybe share a touch of wisdom or a cute story with us, if you don't mind.
Cute story. Oh man.
Or a touch of wisdom. It could be a sad story if you want, but I just feel like people like cute stories better than sad stories.
Do they? Okay. Well, update on my side. I was in Singapore last week. I wasn't able to make the AMA. Last minute got flown out by somebody connected to the space early on in DFK years. If you guys are familiar with like the AMC, GameStop stuff with all the Reddit folks over there at Wall Street Bets. he's working on some stuff and at a party, and we try to always expand our network and offer some advisory and consulting and also collaboration in DFK. So yeah, was able to get flown out there and attend and support his efforts along with a bunch of other token stuff. And Token Singapore is an awesome event. I think they have the most quality side events out of all the events in crypto each year. So if you haven't been, definitely worth going. I used to live in Singapore, so I don't know, cute story. Went to my favorite Indian food restaurant that I haven't been there for a while, and one of the dudes still there remembers me. They have a drink there called Blue Drink. I call it Blue Drink. They call it Chatte Fate. It's like a Long Island iced tea, but India version, and it's blue because of some blue alcohol that comes from India. So if you ever get the chance to try it, be careful. It will mess you up.
I look forward to the chance to trying it. So historically, most blue in cocktails is from blue curacao, but you're thinking there's they got a local blue sip out there.
Yeah, some kind of local blue. Or they're messing with me. I don't know. There were a bunch of, when I worked at Goldman before, I managed a team that was like half Indians. We'd have a lot of Indian food and other stuff, but they told me it's Chatte Fate, which nobody has ever confirmed is a real thing. I think that means like carpe diem, but I just call it Blue Drink. So maybe you'll find one day, and if not,
I'd love to, because Long Island is. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
Nah, you're good. You like Long Islands?
Yeah, Long Island is a great drink. I'm not going to drink it every day, but it's I might have one here and there. And how often do you get to have blue drinks? I think that's something that's fallen out of favor. Like you think about it, like blue Powerade. Like that's it. What else is blue? Maybe like a Slurpee, or some might say Baja Blast, but I don't. It's more of maybe a turquoise. Maybe. I think that's even a stretch.
I was crapping all over Baja Blast with Bull on here a couple weeks ago, but then that same week I went to Taco Bell and got one, put it in the freezer, became a slushy, and it was delicious. So I apologize for my previous comments. But other things in Singapore. A lot of people showed up that are friends that we've seen. And I just have to say, an observation in the space is it's kind of frustrating sometimes to see people so bullish on things like Web3 gaming when market is focusing money there. And those same people just don't seem to care when market pulls back a bit. Not about DFK specifically, just like a broad observation. I think we all see it. If you're active on Twitter, a lot of the really active people aren't active anymore. Folks supporting certain games aren't anymore because there wasn't really love for the game or the industry. I think it was just kind of different forms of mini cash grabs. So kind of a negative view observation, but we've seen it in cycles before. Cycles show people's true colors, and those that are really excited about the space or passionate or dedicated, we find ways to push through. One person that I haven't seen stop working is Doug Hype. Doug Hype loves Web3 gaming, and everybody that goes quiet, he doesn't. He just keeps continuing to do content, work with folks that want to work with him. Can't say the same about many other people there. So just a little disappointing, but also interesting to see that that what we're working through DFK in this space, everybody's being affected by, with there's focus in RWA right now, maybe not as much focus in Web3 gaming, some things in the works though with others that are doubling down, which I can't share names on, private information I've heard. But I would just say that, Web3 gaming is not being given up on by many, and by others, I think they kind of showed that they weren't really focused on it. So it was helpful to be there, boots on the ground, because then you can kind of like see for yourself where opportunities are, where hard workers are, where certain people we want to hope to collaborate with are, and where time or money isn't really worth being spent on.
Yeah, thanks for that. I am really stoked that you mentioned Doug. I just didn't know when Doug first came on the scene, I didn't know what to think of him. Like, he seemed like one of those really flashy, this dude's going to be gone in 3 months, he's going to be loud, and then he's going to be out of here. But he's really stuck around, and he's really stuck to games. I know he talks about other tokens and other projects, but I feel like games has been his main focus. So one of those people who I initially was kind of I don't know about this guy, but have certainly been won over. Doug seems like a really cool dude. So appreciate those kind words, and also talking about the just like how a lot of stuff can be cash grabs, but once you find those real passion projects where people are working hard, like we keep saying passion projects so often, but when you find these projects where people are working because they want to make that and aren't working to make $100 or something, like you can kind of tell the difference pretty easily. So Hubert, you got any thoughts about go ahead, Dreamer. Sorry, dude.
Just make sure I clarify. I wasn't talking about other projects being cash grabs. I was talking more about the large amount of influencers that flowed in to make quote unquote content on games they covered, and just launch their own tokens, inside trade, get paid to make bad content, and then exit when the market pulls back a little bit. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that kind of are not helping Web3 gaming growing. They're kind of getting weeded out currently, and the people that are passionate about it, believe in it, and want to actually play, they're sticking around. So not trying to jab at other projects. If anything, I'm jabbing just on the Twitter sphere of influencer cash grab that was last year, if that makes sense.
No, I appreciate the clarity on that. I don't want to make it sound like we're poo-pooing anybody who's working hard. But yeah, I totally get what you're saying about the influencers kind of jumping in and out of projects just to cash in and cash out. So it's good to differentiate those things for sure. So Hubert, I don't know if you have any thoughts on KOL cash grabbers or not KOL cash grabbers like Doug Hype, but I'm going to give you about 30 seconds here to say yes or no.
I will just say that Doug Hype is cool. I got to meet him once, and he's a cool guy. All
right. That's a nice cap to that discussion. So I suppose super duper quick, I'll shout out these teams. We've got did I say it right that time? Is that it?
I think so.
Closer? Probably a little bit weird. We've got
Wayo
fighting Mellofellow and Kurt fighting San Andreas. That's on the screen right now. It looks like this is pretty evenly balanced. Kurt does have a dude in the back here. His pirate is in danger. San Andreas has an opportunity with his pirate if he looks like most of his stuff is on cooldown, so he may be able to warning shot him and take him out, I suppose. Oh, nope, he's been healed. Okay, so really quick, let's jump over and check on Wayo. I'm sorry, you guys. Wayo and Mellofellow. Also pretty evenly balanced. It looks like Mello has a spot here of danger for his seer and just took care of that pretty easily. Yeah, these both look pretty balanced. So I think we probably have about 10 minutes left on these maybe, and then you'll be able to vote on the next one. So stick around, make sure you vote on those. So let's jump over to some questions. Let me find my questions screen here. It's here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Oh, you know what? I actually have three other updates. Wow. Where's Bolon when you need him? 3 other updates. So tomorrow at 11 CEST, there's going to be some database downtime, about 30 minutes, where you remember about a week ago, it was, the game was more or less just shut down. So that's going to be happening tomorrow at 11 CEST, database downtime, game will be shut down. So we'll put that in the announcements as well, but just wanted to announce it here. Also, I wanted to mention that we have been doing these hosted Swayze tournaments alongside our off-season tournaments, so feel free to jump into those. I'm also taking suggestions on how those should be run in chat, so get into Discord and tell me if those are not going well, or if they are going well, or whatever kind of feedback you've got for me. And I will not be answering questions from the team about that, so you guys are just gonna have to not know what's going on with the Swayze stuff. Finally, there have been questions about a Halloween event. We historically do a little something. I don't think we're gonna reveal exactly what maybe Hubert will. I don't know. I'm gonna hand it over to Hubert to talk about that very briefly, and maybe he'll reveal it, and maybe he'll leave you guys hanging for a second. I don't know. We'll see. Go ahead, Hubert.
Mostly leaving people hanging, but we have been finalizing our plans for that, and I think we have our planned approach kind of figured out. It's just we are going to be doing something a bit different than what we did in the previous years, but it will also have some similarities too. It's going to be it's a little bit more involved on our end, but it also is going to help with something that we need help with. So I think next week we'll probably have a lot more to say about it, but I'm not really prepared to share things at this exact moment.
All right. Well, it's going to help with something we need help with. So do what you will with that. I'm actually going to just flip it right back over to you again, Hubert, for a small update on our development cycle, what we're working on, and kind of what the time frame might look like on those things that we're working on. So take another few minutes if you don't mind.
Sure. Yeah, so we are still working on the final tidbits of durability, enchanting, and pet combat bonuses. I'd say like all the major bugs that have been found have been resolved at this point. We're really just getting to like the final balancing and tuning. So I'd say at this point we're within a week's time frame rather than saying months. But it's always possible something could come up to delay it further, but I hope not. I think it's coming together pretty well at this point. So yeah, we're just trying to get that all done, and then continuing to work on our future projects as well, like the next thing afterwards, which that's also coming together as well, but it's going to be a bit longer before we're going to be able to release that. But that thing, which we've been referring to as Glory and Honor, is something that we're going to be talking about more and more, I think, in the next few weeks, probably, and moving forward.
And the way you said it might be have heard incorrectly. So I think it's not that we're a week away. We measure how far we are away in weeks rather than months.
That's what I meant. Sorry. yeah, not next week.
less than a month away if things go well. So hopefully, 2 to 3 weeks. We'll see.
Great. Yeah, thanks for that update and the clarity being shared there. So a couple weeks, we'll see some new stuff coming out probably. I think we hit all the updates. I'm gonna give you guys a second here if something struck you that you want to sneak in before we shift over to questions. So feel free to pipe up if there's something you want to mention before we move. All right, no piping. We're gonna move on. So the first question here is actually going to be, I'm just going to answer this one. It is, I heard you like assumptive questions about Halloween skins. What made you decide to be devilish red this year? And I'm just going to answer that with a no. Like, that's a firm no. I'm not going to be baited. You're not going to get me. You might get Bolon. Bolon probably would have answered that question, but you're not going to get old Winston here. So the next question here is going to be for Hubert, and he's probably going to hit you with a quick answer and then extend a little bit if he wants to, but he might just hit you with a quick answer. So Hubert, will higher rolled items like a 10 bleed gore blade compared to a 5 bleed gore blade give more dust and artifacts?
So the short answer is no. And yeah, I could expand on that. The main thing is that it would be very complicated to add tracking for every piece of equipment for like any ranges that they have. Like it's not very straightforward. The logic would have to be specific for every single item. And we'd have to add that specific logic for any new items as well. So I don't think it would be worth doing. And it'd take a lot of effort. So we're not going to do that. So yeah, I think that will mean that probably the ones that do have the higher rolls on them will be more, you might lean more on restoring them rather than dusting them, versus ones that are, more at the baseline. But I think once it gets restored a certain amount of times, maybe then the equation will kind of change your mind there. But yes, No.
That's a yes and a no there. But yeah, thanks for clarifying that. I guess it's just kind of like hold on to your good stuff, right? It's not going to get you any more dust, and yeah, use the good stuff. Real quick, it looks like San Andreas was able to beat Kurt. So congratulations, dude. That's no easy feat. I don't know that I can say I've actually. Maybe I beat Kurt once. Kurt would probably remember better than I would. He'd probably remember me beating him. Back to Wayo and Mellow Fellow. Looks like Wayo is pulling away here. Maybe Mellow still has like quite a bit of resources left in his. Well, I guess that's a berserker, so mana is not what you. Hey!
Oh boy.
Sorry about that little dog scuffle. You know, the best friends don't always see eye to eye, but they're okay. Yeah. Yeah, dog
I
fight.
thought you were
Anyway,
getting taken out. I thought.
yeah, I'm getting
it's in the
swatted,
last
dude.
of Winston Jazz
That was a
hands over
canine.
there.
Canine unit just busted down my door. Looks like Wayo is gonna pull this one out. So like I think I don't want to speak out of turn here, but I think the two underdogs maybe pulled this one out. Is that out of turn? I think it's out of turn. I don't know. But yeah, I think the two underdogs pulled it out. Get ready to hustle over and vote on the final. Sorry about that. I totally lost track of what I was talking about there. Well, we're going to move on with the questions.
I think
What's
we
that?
all did.
Yeah, we're just kind of a
We
reset
all
there.
thought you were being eaten alive by some kind of mountain animal or creature, but you're not. You're good.
I'm good this time. There's still a lot of AMA left, though, so anything could happen. All right, we're going to get back to questions. Don't forget to vote on this next one when it comes up. This question is going to be for Hubert. Thoughts on lowering the cost for dark summoning, i.e. make it more worth it to burn low rarity basic heroes for a chance to make battle-worthy heroes?
So yeah, I guess if the question is asking to like increase the odds when burning or like lower quality heroes, like rarity and whatnot, you know, I don't think we are going to change that. You know, and I think what we've seen so far is like the best heroes have been created through dark summoning, and you know, the degree of effort it might take also kind of adds value to those heroes. So any sort of adjustment that would make it easier, where you don't have to burn as many, or where like the fee that is already reduced compared to regular summoning is cheaper, I think that just is going to cheapen heroes in general. So I'm not sure that I support that, but we could potentially talk about it.
All right. Well, that's a pretty decent answer. I would say usually something like that is just a no, because it's like economically it can be very tricky to make things cheaper. You know, it's like that if you can get the best stuff for cheap, you know, everything gets cheaper. So the next question, we weren't entirely clear on what this question was asking. So I'm going to try to answer it, but also good luck to Wayo and San Andreas. I'm going to try to answer it really simply, but would staked heroes on Metis be considered double dipping due to the limited supply of Jewel? I think we would say no, but please resubmit your question with a touch more context so that we can understand what you meant by that. This next question is for, unless you know, either one of you guys want to talk about that.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by the question myself. So I mean, the idea with using hero staking instead of a different kind of staking was to you know, kind of reduce the summoning potential out there. Like if heroes are locked away in the arena, then you know, they're not summoning and they're kind of serving a purpose there. And as far as like getting jewel rewards and whatnot, like I don't really see a problem with that. But yeah, I'm not quite sure what the question is getting at exactly.
All right. Well, thanks for your thoughts. Please resubmit that question with a bit more context. Also, any additional context you can share in your questions is always going to help us. It's saying more is going to make it easier for us. So this next question is going to be for Hubert. Does durability also degrade when losing a void hunt or patrol? If so, does it degrade more on void hunt retries?
Retry on void hunts just is kind of like a reset. You don't lose any potions, and also you don't lose any durability, and it doesn't change like what durability losses you would get when you stop resetting or retrying. But yeah, if you lose in a void hunt or in patrols, you will still have chances of losing durability. I'd say with void hunts, it's basically the same chance win or lose for durability loss. For patrols, a loss will typically mean less chances of durability loss because the durability loss is tied to how many enemies you defeat. So if you were to lose, that means you defeated fewer enemies than you would if you went through a full patrol. So yeah, that's kind of how that's set up.
Okay, I mean that's a robust answer, I think. So that's going to work. What's going on here with this bout? I think on my screen it might be stuck. I'm going to try switching this up a little bit. The quick refresh. So this next question is, I think I'm going to scoop this one actually. So quality of life suggestion, option to re-queue hunt teams. Even though you can't do it until the next day, it would be nice to have, it would be nice to not have to select the teams every time. And the answer to that is it would be nice. You're right. And we got that on the list. We definitely want to do something like that. There's been just other priorities for now, but that's a great suggestion. And we're definitely going to consider that in the not too distant future. The next question is going to be for Hubert and Dreamer to kind of discuss a little bit. This one comes from the lovable Cookie. Love you, Cookie. You're a good fellow. And this question is, I only say Cookie because it puts context on how the question is written and the words in it. So here we go. From Cookie. Can we please, for the love of God, fix hero transfers and bridging on Sarandel? It's super clunky and takes an awful long time to go through. I'm amazed how long this has been clunky. Yeah, I know there's lots of things going on under the hood, but you cannot deny that these areas are basic operations people do in DFK, and it's completely unacceptable that it's in this state for far too long now. Hubert, discuss.
That was a very emotive question. Yeah, so I mean, with Kaya and was previously Klaytn, unfortunately there is something on their side with the technology that has been a limiting factor for us from the beginning, which is they have a restrictive computational cost that it's a feature that doesn't really exist on most chains, where not only do they have a gas limit, but they also limit how many operations you can do within a function call. And those limits are pretty restrictive, to the point where it has forced us to not be able to do multi-queuing of some things, or the multi-queuing that we can do is pretty limited, just to a much smaller number than what we can do on the other chains. And I think with bridging as well, that has kind of been the issue that we've run up against. If we push it too far, the bridge transactions will fail. Yeah, so that's just been unfortunate. We do try as much as we can to work with things. It really forced us to kind of change our technology in general, just even when we launched on Kaya in the beginning, just to make it work. We are aware of the issue. We're not happy with it, and we do our best to try to improve it where we can. I will say we have been looking at some additional multi-functionality things that we could do that may make its way on over there as well, but they will still be kind of limited to those computation cost limits that we just have to live with. It's the chain just won't allow us to go beyond those limits.
I shall add. Yeah, I guess when I was listening to that question be read, the emotion that was there, I feel too. When we first did the deal with previously Klaytn, we did our due diligence with the information that we had, and we were not told about this non-EVM compatible unique limit over there. So if we all go back in time, we moved back the launch, I think, a month, and it was because we had to refactor a bunch of things just to make the game work. Now we did get benefit from a lot of that refactoring in DFK Chain and other parts, so it wasn't completely wasted, but it did catch us by surprise, and we have pushed, I think, the technology stack to the limits there with what was available, and we're actively building with everything sent. So Mark Cookie, the concerns with bridging, we feel them, and currently it's in the best state we can get it in without some other major refactoring or trying some completely new things. We're not just leaving it because we think it's like good enough. So yeah, good question. Even though there is additional emotion there, it's felt, and the reason is out of our control, unfortunately. Although if we think of better ways to work around it, we will, and we're open to other ideas. But it isn't as simple as, just make it better with what we have and the restraints we're operating within. We've actually kind of pushed it to the max that we could so far. It's much better than it was, and it works, but it definitely isn't up to DFK quality, and that is not something that we can control given the chain over there and the limitations. So thanks, Hubert, for walking us through that. Just wanted to back you up there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for your thoughts and opinions on that. And I wanted to say that I specifically read it word for word and tried to convey the convey the emotion there, because I think a lot of players feel that, and as the team members and people working on it, I think we feel it too. Like we would love to fix that. We would love to make that better, and we feel maybe not as frustrated as Cookie is, but I think we feel that as well. So that was the main reason I wanted to convey all of that, was so that we could commiserate a little bit together. So let's move on to the next question. This is a Dreamer question, so listen up over there, Dreamer. Successful big tech companies are using algorithms to create addiction and dependency. When DFK will do the same, it will conquer the world. Do you have a plan to do that in the roadmap?
Well, I don't, the way it reads to me, I don't know if it's like a trick question. We aren't currently allocating resources to manipulation of feelings while playing the game. However, I think there are some very big professionals in AAA studios that figure out how to maximize game loops and tap into certain emotional reactions through game style, through animation, reward systems, and others. I mean, all of crypto kind of does that to some degree with the RNG side of it. But no, we're not actively hiring people to manipulate our players further than your natural desire to play a game that's fun, that's well connected in the technology and strategic and challenges us. So, did that answer it?
It did for me. I mean, I think that was a pretty firm no. We're spending our time making something fun, not trying to manipulate and what's the word that you do? Fleece? Is fleece the right word? Probably not the right word. All right, this next question, great answer, by the way, Dreamer. Thank you. This next question is for Hubert, and it is, have we checked when the last rags of the Nameless was dropped from patrols? We haven't, but I know it's been a while. I think the last 4 or 5 perps have been void hats. I forgot what they're called. Devourer hats. What are they called? Someone help me out here. It doesn't really matter too much. And the rest of this question is, do we have a plan to either increase the encounters of the Nameless Apostle or potentially increase the drop rate when you do kill a Nameless Apostle? And so that's going over to Hubert. If you want me to just read the question without all of my nonsense in the middle, I'd be happy to do that for you.
It was the Cowl of Eternal Hunger, by the way. Yeah, so with the rags of the Nameless, no, yeah, like Winston said, we have not, haven't gone back and looked when the last one dropped, but the intent with that one was to make it kind of like the rarest thing that you can get from patrols at the moment, and I think that has been the case. It is super rare. It also is very valuable and useful because of that. I think when you get one, you have an opportunity to sell it if you'd like, and since due to its rarity, it has more value. So like anytime it's like if we want to increase these things, we have to kind of balance it out, like how that will impact, I guess, its value in game. And I think once durability is out, we can look into some adjustments, since equipment's going to begin to degrade at that point. But for the time being, I think we're not going to be making any adjustments there.
Alrighty, thanks for explaining that and answering it. The next question is this is also a Hubert question. This is from our own Kurt Hokage, who just played in this last tournament. Thanks, Kurt. Sorry that you are a loser today. Add the ability to burn heroes in PvP tournament if you lose. Add a text box during sign up where you can type burn to enter. So it's just kind of like it's cool, everybody. I'm safe. Everything's fine in here. Just a little dog stuff going on. But yeah, so Hubert, if you don't mind just discussing that a little bit while I
the dog
de-escalate.
just completely distracted me from what you were asking again.
Add the ability to burn heroes in a PvP tournament if you lose.
Okay. Yeah, that is a feature I would like to get in there eventually. It just hasn't been our priority to add that in. Yeah, if we added it, we would need to add like an extra little step for players to make sure that they're aware that their heroes would be burned if they lose. But like permanent death tournaments are something I would like to see in the game. Just when we prioritize that, it's not something that's going to be like super straightforward to add in either. So like there's front end work that would need to go along with it, and adding in the logic to like handle that on the backside as well. So yeah, like I would like to get it in there though eventually. I know that some people would want to use it. I think on our tournaments, I don't know how frequently we'd want to do it on our side, but for like hosted tournaments, I know that some over in the Eternal Zenith Guild have wanted to do that. So eventually we'll get to it.
Cool. So yeah, get your dumpers ready for that. It's going to happen. Real quick update on the bout. It looks like Wayo might be running away with this one. San Andreas lost his pirate up front, and now he's got a seer and a wizard that he's hoping to sneak through here with. I don't know. I think Wayo might be taking home the super cool warrior with the super rare party hat. So we'll see how it goes. It's still up there going on. Good luck to both those guys. We've got another question here. This is actually, so we're getting into the Rapider questions, the talk site. Just wanted to remind everybody that that's going to be decommissioned pretty soon, and we won't be accepting questions from that in the not too distant future. So there were 3 questions that felt fairly similar in what they were asking, even if they're worded differently. So I'm just going to paraphrase these together. And this is going to be a Dreamer question. So Dreamer, prepare yourself. So question 1, the player base is shrinking, not growing. What is actively being done to attract players? Question 2, the economy feels dead. The game feels barren. What plans are there to encourage economic transactions? Number 3, are there plans to incentivize or attract new players? So Dreamer, I'd be happy to read any part of those again, but the floor is yours to respond.
Sure. It sounds like user acquisition is the general topic and user retention. On the retention side, we've had a lot of backlog of features that we've been finding ways to catch up on over the last almost 2 years now. And I think we've done a really good job at that. Excited about these features to come out that will really impact the economy, durability being one of those, among some other things there, giving utility to stuff in the game. But if we zoom out and look at the space, kind of related to my comments at the beginning, as we look around in the network of folks building in blockchain gaming, there are pockets of positivity and hope, but there's also a good chunk of people that have kind of shifted to other things. So let's think about who we spend money on to market to. Do we spend money at events? We go to events. We're there oftentimes doing demos and talking about DFK and letting people know that we're still around and showing the game and doing some giveaways. How much has that brought people in? We've had some big success over the last year and a half of people coming in, trying the game for like their first time or coming back. The stickiness of those players seems to be linked to paying them to stay. So that's not really a sustainable way to grow an economy. Although it was good to get some additional eyes and some feedback. Some things like patrols came from a lot of those efforts. Working with YGG, who's kind of adjusted their GAP program and making a big 180, it seems like, with their chain and focus on a lot of other things on the Ronin side. It's hard to say these dollars, we can gamble them and say, let's buy this billboard, let's get this ad space. We've gotten ad space on Karate Combat, which has a huge viewing audience within the crypto space. What quote unquote marketing dollars would bring in new players versus what features that we haven't built yet could bring into new players versus all the features that we have. How do we lower barriers to entry so that when we do spend marketing dollars, we don't get complaints on barriers to entry and they stick around? It's a really hard thing to solve for. And some could argue it actually is more contingent on the market that we're in and the overall sentiment in the space. So what are we doing about it? We're continuing to build features that would be catered to folks generally interested in blockchain gaming, true Web3 gaming. We are building features that our existing players currently active or less active from before would like to see. And Hubert mentioned a feature that we were previously calling Glory and Honor. That is something that we could be talking about more in the coming weeks. This is directly answering the questions asked on, what type of new feature or adjustment of existing features could make it so that marketing efforts could be more successful than they have been in the past. Directly lower barriers to entry, a shorter time to a sustainable game loop, utilizing the IP we have while adding hooks to deeper features that we have currently, but that take a lot of time to kind of learn. The game committee and the team has kind of put their heads together on a really good offering. And we're not ready to share everything on it, but it's been in the works for a while trying to get classes out, while trying to get caught up on some of the major features that need to be in the game. But we're also very limited on funding and other things. So if we had an unlimited marketing budget, and we were to say, all right, this year, let's spend $1 million on just getting commercials and billboards and things out there. And maybe like aggressively going after OG, like Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft players. Not sure what the conversion would be, but our most likely convertible audience are those already in the space in some way and in Web3 gaming in some way. And it isn't just DFK participation that has shrunk, it's interest in that space as a whole currently. So it's a hard thing to solve for, being very transparent about how we think about it. And the last time we had a big push on new eyes or returning eyes, the main bit of feedback was, this is incredible. It looks beautiful. It's deeply strategic. It takes a lot of time to learn. And there's all these other things just paying me to play those games for nothing. Let me go do that and come back because barriers to entry a little high. So we're trying to work on that. And I think what we have could address that well, but there's a big question mark of overall availability and interest in this space in general with folks currently, but there's not a question mark long term. I think there are cycles here. There will be people that will be interested again, or folks that are getting prepared to enter this space with other announcements and things that we may benefit from. So long answer short, building a lot of things to address issues with onboarding and retention, as opposed to throwing marketing dollars on things that we already know aren't the easiest for new people to learn. And we already know the feedback from others. They want certain features in order to continue to play. Marketing dollars won't fix that, only building will. So trying our best to do that on the build side and the strategy side while staying relevant in the overall space.
Yeah, thanks, Dreamer. That's a lot of good wisdom there. I'm really glad that you said something about specifically just about how, like, you know, marketing can be a gamble. You know, it can be like you are spending this money expecting an outcome, and maybe that outcome happens and maybe it doesn't. And I feel like marketing is one of those things that is extremely difficult to do organically from a sweat equity perspective, where it's like we work hard in our marketing. It's like it just doesn't work that way. Like, marketing is money. You know, it's the amount of money you can throw at something, and then having a good product that's easy to gobble up at the end of the funnel. And I think we're still trying to make that an easy bite for people, as well as, like, it feels like marketing dollars now would just as you said, kind of be lost on a like a stinky altcoin bear market, I guess.
Yeah,
I don't know.
And to add detail, like, we actively market, I think, in this space, you know, working with other major partners and guilds and blockchains and influencers. Like, we're always actively marketing. When I say, like, throwing additional marketing dollars, you know, people in crypto spend literally hundreds of thousands of dollars throwing parties where a logo is just on the wall and everybody's getting drunk and forgets everything about the party the next day. They spend hundreds of thousands of dollars getting a logo up at a large conference and a booth that they hope people will come and walk to. But everybody there, they're biz dev people walking around. There's very few active potential players. If you look at, you know, just like television and OG, like advertising, digital billboards and physical billboards, it's just getting your brand out there. So what is the marketable product? People know DeFi Kingdoms. They know it from whatever point in time they interacted with it. The goal is to get them to interact with it again and refresh their opinion on us, and to see if we have what they want currently. Last year, we did have a lot of people come and check us out through the various marketing efforts that I think were very successful. Yes, it was on a budget, but the overwhelming response was all the things I mentioned earlier. So is the product ready to be mass marketed? You know, I don't know when it will be ready. But we're not stopping getting feedback and marketing to everybody in this space. Just the amount of people in the space currently has shrunk, that is interested in this corner. Last time it shrunk, what did we do? We built, and we made the biggest progress on the game side and other features. And then when people came back to that focus, they're like, holy cow, DFK is not only still around, but they're a playable game. Cool, let me check it out. Cool. A little too deeply strategic for me, or barriers to entry are high, but really awesome. So when is that next window? I don't know. Could be next month. Could be a year from now. But I do have conviction that if we just stop building and we spend the money we have just to run commercials or throw parties or mismanagement and on the marketing ways that we see majority of crypto do, to pump tokens that dump and then they just go away and give up and launch something new, there's a reason why there's not a lot of other people still around. And it's because what they do is good for short-term cash grabs. It's not good for long-term building and fundamental growth. Maybe our solution isn't going to work too. I don't know, but I do know at the end we have actually done what we said we would do and built the game. So yeah, I think any like comparison in the space marketing versus how we market, show me somewhere where those marketing dollars have really, really worked. We get people to, all you try to do is get people to come and look. And when they do, and they say too difficult, or these are the issues working them, that's what we're doing. We're working on the feedback we got on that major wave we got last year. And you know, when we get marketing ability or other opportunities, we'll continue to ramp them up, but slim pickings right now, guys. You know, we're trying to do our best on the opportunity cost of choice here, from a build to market perspective. And when you build something, nobody can take it away from you. You know, Metis actually got us to follow them on a campaign that was quite expensive, that they covered a big chunk of the build, but cost us some as well. We saw zero movement on that huge expense, even though that's how everybody else markets. That's how you market tokens to go up so people can dump on you. That's not how you like build long-term, you know, game players. So you need a good game, and you need it to be easy to learn and easy to onboard and assimilate. And we have bits and pieces of that, but we still only have bits and pieces. We need to continue to complete the offering. Games take a long time to build. And we are behind the scenes working our butts off to get eyes on it, get influencers on it, get communities on it. And this is the feedback we get. We can't control people's opinions, unfortunately, but we can do our best to build a good product for the space long term.
Yeah, thanks again, Dreamer. That's some. Hope you guys are all writing some of this down, because it's aside from it being good business advice, it's like kind of sensible life advice. It's like, look around you and see what's going on and figure out the best way to use your resources to maximize what you can do. So we got excuse me, we got one more question, and then we could take audience questions if there's some dingers out there. I saw one that we might want to answer, but I think it's kind of a broad. I'm not really sure how we would answer it. So here's that last question. This one's going to be for Dreamer. Have any gaming studios or entities expressed interest in DFK or acquiring a stake in Kingdom Studios?
Well, yes, but kind of the other way around. I've been inquiring and reaching out, and also seeing like who has participated in game investments over the last 4-ish years, and who is still interested. There are a couple, I don't know what names I can mention or can't, but and also made a connection to AAA studios that have not entered this space yet while I was in Singapore, that I'm looking to explore. I did get a soft commitment on setting us up with a couple direct pitches. So we'll be, trying to work on those follow-ups to see that. But what would be the vision with like more of a traditional studios? I think a lot of these guys have been watching the space, and they see major investments go in the ideas of games, that funding dries up prior to anything material being built. And then people get distracted with tokens and influencers and cash grabs and other things. And then it's kind of the same story for most of them in the space. As an investor, that's very scary. When you see DeFi Kingdoms, not only the building team go ups and downs with even being able to pay ourselves, at times not being able to pay anything to save money for just ongoing operational costs, versus other times when we get grants and we make them go for literally years, when others soak up that the funding in months and mismanage it. I think that there could be the right partner looking for a quality game and a quality development team that hasn't succumbed to a lot of the pitfalls that others have, that might be interested in the space but afraid of the players so far that have done poorly and could really like our product and our team. So with that, I'm looking to see who's out there. Let's say that we find the right match and the dollars match interest and value. We have equity in Kingdom Studios allocated to this exact thing for this purpose. We would want to not lose control. So in any type of like, hey, we want to, buy you out and take the game and gut it for parts and everything, that is not the intent. The intent is to find a strategic partner that could help on the funding side, but also help fill the gaps of things that we aren't professional at. When it comes to tokenomics, and setup of game and gamification and innovation of the technology to apply to the genre of game that we've kind of created, I feel like we're experts in the space. When it comes to a lot of other things that AAA studios do very well, we've mentioned marketing here. We mentioned the lore and the starting game loop of like entering as a new player and getting them all carried all the way to the end game. We're not experts in that space. We're doing our best, and it's really hard to do with a live player base while we're building live. I think we do a pretty good job. But man, it'd be cool to have professionals come in with parts that we haven't been able to focus on to kind of fill that gap and be more of a marriage. Very open to that. A minority stake in Kingdom Studios with a strategic partnership benefit along with funding in exchange for equity and mutual upside. That's what we're kind of seeking. These things take time. We'll see if we find the right kind of marriage out there. But if we do, it would be really, really great for all involved in DFK. for the reasons already mentioned. So I'm very optimistic on that, just because if there's somebody out there looking for opportunities to be involved, there's kind of no better option than what we have because of the pitfalls that scare many investors in entering the space. We've kind of worked through a lot of those ourselves, and I feel like we should be very proud of that, and investors should have a lot more confidence in that. So have folks reached out to us and shown interest? Transparently, no. Not for a while. I don't know how often they look for that in the space, especially given everything that's happened in the gaming space. Are we actively? Yes. And do we have some leads that are progressing? Yes.
Thanks for that. I mean, that's an exciting answer that we're kind of on the prowl for a big old, heavily muscled gaming company partner. We're not there yet, but we would like to be supported by that. I didn't see any questions in Z chat that I thought we could answer. So I think we're going to start our wrap up. Hubert, how do you feel about bullishing us? Not going to wait for an answer. It's Hubert. I'm going to go first, and then Dreamer, and then we'll kick it over to Hubert. So thanks for hanging out with us, guys. It's a pleasure. 4 years of just the best times, and we appreciate your feedback. We appreciate you being patient with us, and we appreciate you having fun. So that's like kind of the most important part. So we hope you have fun. Dreamer, please go ahead. So I thought I'd give you a little reprieve there, but you're back.
Wait, I go ahead with what? What do I do? Final comments?
Yes, you're not bullish.
Oh my. Sure. I'll set up the bullisher because I'm very B-word. Guys, I like to be out there in the, boots on the ground and interacting with everybody. When everything is good, rah, 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 and people are excited, it's almost harder for people to look at quality. When things are a little bit slower or shifting a bit and people are kind of wondering, what to do with all the change, and they see that we're still here, we're still running tournaments, we're still releasing classes, we're still, buzzing along on DFK Chain. It only becomes a stronger and stronger argument. So for those reasons, I am very B-word. This is a hard space to be in. For all of us, and as players that continue to play and give feedback and come to AMAs, just a big thank you. We see that it's hard for you as well, and as we look long term, many of the games that we love that have been loved for decades, they take much longer than 3 to 4 years to even build and launch, let alone develop and add on to. Even Final Fantasy 14 that is still active. I remember I played a Realm Reborn when it first launched, in 2012. Was that 13 years ago? It sucked. That the Realm Reborn launch was not good, and a lot of people gave some pretty negative feedback and said it was a waste and that they should give up on their Final Fantasy 11 reboot attempt, and turned into a pretty great successful game that people play literally like in their 40s and 50s. But the first 3 to 5 years wasn't what it was. The next 5 to 15 years, and it was even in development, I think, for like 8 to 10 years prior to that. So patience is not always an easy thing. And sometimes, securing funding and staying motivated and staying focused is difficult as well, but we're doing our very best at it. And we do have something very special here that caters to a very unique group. And that group sometimes is made through marketing and onboarding and community building. And sometimes that is just as people find the game that they feel like they've been looking for a long time, they become passionate players. So I'm bullish on that future and our present that we have. And I'm very aware of all the difficulties around it. Just trust that we are doing our best to operate as good as we can in this space. Any help helps, and without that help, we continue to soldier on. So hopefully you're staying bullish with us, and the patience and excitement of building as we play and playing as we build.
What a delightful closing statement. Hubert, sorry that you have to follow that, but good luck, dude.
Yeah, I don't think I can really follow that very well. A lot of great things said there, Dreamer. Thanks for all that. I will just, reiterate what I said kind of at the beginning. Like, we're getting very close to release for our durability, enchantment, and pet combat bonus release, which will be a very large one. Again, warning that it will involve a lot of contract pausing and upgrading to get it all out. So when that does come, just be aware it will be coming. It has been so much work to get it to this state. And once we're past that point, it's just like some kind of major features that were that have been pending for so long that will just be out of the way. So just paving the way for us to have more open. I don't know, schedule is not really the right word, but just more open to the more new future things that we are working towards. So very excited to be to this point where that's going to be done, and also to for the things we have coming afterwards. And it just this project has been an amazing project to work on, and just really want to just see it be successful and just keep fleshing it out and adding more and more to it. So I am, as ever, bullish.
Yep. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Polish.
Nice.
DeFi Kingdoms, where you can summon heroes, trade with other players, quest, and fight challenging enemies in a fantasy world brought to life in pixel art animation. Command your legion, claim your legacy.